Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode or video. I've done this twice now of Smart Stack. Today, I'm going to be talking about Motion. And maybe you've heard of Motion. It's one of these AI powered calendars. I've been a little bit skeptical of them. My colleague Massimo, he's been using them a bunch. I've been a bit hesitant, but I checked it out this time, and honestly, I was impressed. It does a lot of great stuff. It helps you manage that calendar. Yes, of course, events, but more importantly, what it really excels at is tasks. So things that need to get done, but don't have a specific bound, but they have priorities, they have contingencies, they could be part of a bigger project, they could be recurrent in nature, something like lunch, right? So all these types of things, and it manages it very, very well, and it uses AI to do that. So it's a cool video. I learned a lot, and I think you will too. We'll see you on the other side. And if you find this interesting, please do hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you part of the community. Get right into it here. So what I'd like to start with this, just a quick look at their website here. So Motion as an AI-powered super app for work. So this was actually a bit interesting just to start, simply because when I came in, I thought it was just all about calendars and tasks, getting stuff done. Yes, it is that calendar task, but you see they layer in meetings and docs and notes and dashboards and projects. So actually, that's a little bit of a concern for me sometimes when I'm doing these software tools. I think simplest is best, but it's always a struggle for anything like this because obviously they want to be able to expand, provide more value to their clients. It's much easier to add more tools. So it's always that balance of, okay, providing more value without overcomplicating things. I think that they strike a pretty good balance, but again, in my research, I originally came with calendars and tasks, but in some of these Reddit forums that I've seen, a bit of a complaint was the complexity. Honestly, my opinion after going through it, and you'll see it in a second, I don't think it actually is too complex, but it is something that I've heard before. Beyond that, actually, I do think that everything is relatively simple. They go through each of the features. They do talk about, I think this is important, how they can replace all these different tools. Again, that's them providing value. And then, yeah, what they do, which I think is a smart thing, is they kind of break it down by saying, okay, well, if you're a law firm or you're a design agency, so common use cases that they see their tool working well. And so, okay, it kind of gives a good layout. But honestly, to really learn this tool, you just have to get right into it here. And although they talk about all these other things, really when it comes down to it, the calendar is the main thing. It is, if you think about it, it's kind of the single thread that ties all these different things together. The calendar is the main thing that it focuses on. And so that's where we're going to start with the video. So I've set up here, you can see here, this is a brand new Motion account. I'm on the calendar. Like I said, this is the main thing. You can see over here on the left-hand side, this is kind of like your menu, I guess you could call it. So the number one thing being, okay, I want to create something new. It could be a task, a doc, a project, or a meeting. We can put those things in. And then all your kind of different headings, right? Again, agenda. Actually, agenda is the first thing they talk about here. I guess it's just more of a list as opposed to calendar, which is the visual view that I like. And we'll kind of break down in just a second of all the things that you're seeing here. But then you go through, you see tasks, all tasks, projects, and then team schedule, and then AI meeting notes. This is a newer thing which I'm excited about. I don't think we actually will get into it fully in this video. It'll probably be something we do in a future video. So of course, if you're interested in seeing that, be sure to subscribe and we'll get out to you there. This is your main menu or main area, like I said, the calendar. And then over here is this is kind of like Google Calendar, right? Where you have your visual for the week, but then you can very quickly navigate different weeks, and you can see here which calendars are connected. And then again, what's on my agenda. So let's just get right into it here. So starting with the calendar side of things, again, that's the way I thought about it, and I think it does make a lot of sense. Where it starts, and really the first thing you do when you log into Motion for the first time, is you're going to integrate your calendar, right? So again, that is really the lifeblood of this app. And so I've already done that here. What I've done is I've connected my Google Calendar, and you can see that little Google, it's kind of a bit small there, but it is there. But it is actually, relatively straightforward. It integrates right now with Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, and iCloud. I think that's 95% of the market. If you are using a different type of calendar, maybe Yahoo Calendar, I don't know what else is out there, Zoho Calendar, I'm guilty of that a little myself, is, you don't have those options. You really don't. Maybe you need to integrate with a Google Calendar as an intermediary, but these are the ones that they integrate with. And like all these things, it's relatively straightforward. I'm not going to go through it, but you just basically click, you say authenticate, allow all, and all your meetings will come in. So that's what you see here. So starting to show up on my calendar here are those tasks, right? So I got to clean up the office. These are just some fake tasks that I put in here. At 8 p.m. tomorrow, I've got a new test event. So that's on Monday. So sure, those tasks come in. So that's easy. Let's not spend a lot of time on that. But of course, if I needed to, and I'm going to just actually maybe make a brand new event on Monday, let's say at 9 a.m., it's pretty easy to come in here. I can say new meeting or event. I'm going to say, call this, film smart stack video. And actually what's probably more appropriate is meet with Massimo about SmartStack. And yeah, we're going to do that on Monday at, let's say 9 a.m. So you can sync from an existing calendar, but you can, if you wanted to, just create them right here. There is a scheduling assistant, so if you open this up, they can actually help you kind of see where you have available time. Now, this being a test account, there's a lot of available time, but you can choose that. Really, it's just, okay, I can click as opposed to having to type in like I did. And this will show up on your Google Calendar if you've synced it there. And you can choose to just make this a video call so you can connect with Zoom or Google Meet or whatever. And if you had team members, you can add guests. So all really standard stuff as it relates to a meeting, nothing too revolutionary there. And we can create that event. So events created, I can just close this now. And this is starting to get a little bit interesting here. And I don't know if you saw that, and it was a little bit sneaky, is that I put this in here where there's already this chunk of something called check emails right here. So this gets into the next concept as it relates to motion. A lot of these tools is a task, right? So you have meetings. Meetings are a set time. You have to do them. But this is really where the magic of something like motion comes in, is it also helps you manage your tasks. So as we get into it, what is a task? It's a to-do list item that needs to get done. But the nice thing about a task is that it's flexible in terms of its timing, right? So this check email things as an example, I have a task for this day that says I need to check my email. It should take me about 2 hours. And so what it did, as soon as I put in this meeting here, it actually changed that task from just a 2-hour chunk in the morning to now that's an hour and a half. And then you can see further down here, I actually have check emails I'm supposed to do at 11:45. So that's pretty interesting, and that's kind of motion in motion, no pun intended there. But let's maybe just take a quick step back and fully explain the concept of a task, how you can create them, and how they kind of fit in. So again, very much like the meeting, you can come in here, you can create a new, and I'm this time going to say a new task. So this is the thing that opens up here. And again, a task is like something that needs to get done, but there's flexibility with it. And that flexibility allows motion to work its magic. So I'm going to come in here and say, very important task, let's say, for example. And this is a task that is super important. So you can describe it and whatever, that's normal stuff. But really where the magic comes in is all this stuff over here. So what you can see here is all your options to kind of do it. So what you can see right off the bat is I'm going to say, okay, this is a very important task. It's going to take me, I don't know, 16 hours. The minimum amount of chunks, or sorry, the minimum chunk is 2 hours. So I don't want to have these short little things. I kind of have to like sit down and think about it. But I'm going to be a little bit generous and I can say I could do these in 1 hour chunks. So whatever it ends up being. Start date is today. That seems fine. And let's make the due date the 18th. Sure, why not? And so then I come in here, and since it's so important, I need to get this done. Oh, hi. So ASAP, I guess, is one where it just forgets about all those things. I don't know if you saw that. And I hit ASAP. This doesn't matter anymore, but hi allows me to do the proper priority. So I'm going to hit save task. And so what it's going to do, and this is really the magic with it, is it's going to look at the priority. It's going to compare the priority with all the other tasks that I have on my calendar. And it's going to find those open areas in which I can do this task, 16 hours over the next week, finding that time. And if there isn't that open time, is to move some of the other tasks around that are a little bit more flexible, that I can actually move. So I can do these things here, and let's just do that, right? So I can say save. So task created, that's perfect. This has just been created. I'm going to come back to my calendar here, and let's refresh the task. I'm just going to pause the video. Okay, so it takes us a little bit of time, but basically now you can see that very important task is now been put into my schedule, and you can see it's there. It's actually divided out into 11 different chunks, each with at least being, I think I said, hour minimum chunks, and you can see they've put it in all these different places. Really, I said I put the deadline to be Monday of the following week, so it's putting in all these different ones here. But I think one of the really kind of cool things with this is I can say, hey, do you know what? 21 was what I put in, and that works. But what I can actually do, or what motion does for me, is let's just say, for example, I wanted to say I needed to get this done by the 16th. Already it's telling me, no way, that can't happen. Given everything else that you have prioritized, that's not a doable deadline. At the very least, can we extend the deadline to the 18th and we can get it done? And it actually offers you suggestions to say, hey, when could you actually do it? This is the absolute projected deadline. And so I'll say, okay, fine, let's do that. And so I'll put that in, extend deadline. that gets moved. Great. Hopefully this thing goes away for me. Extend deadline. Pause one more time. Oh, perfect. We're on track. Great. And then I open it up and yeah, it's basically, again, gone ahead, rescheduled all these different things, found time for me to do what needs to get done and making sure it's all there. And so that's great, right? And that's going to do it for me. And now I know basically at least things are going to get done and I know where they need to happen. So that's great. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, okay, do you know what? Whatever. Let's mark this as complete. That's complete. And just like that, my schedule clears up a bit. So that's nice. That's task. That's a great thing with it. I'm going to show two other quick features, which I think really takes things to the next level. So what you might notice is that every single day I say, hey, I got to meditate. So what this is actually is it's a special type of task. So you can come in here and you can say, I'd like to make a recurring task. So it's basically what it sounds like. And you can come in here and say, every single day, I need to make sure I'm having, let's say, a good hearty breakfast, right? Something like that. And that's going to happen every day. I like to have just a quick bite, 15 minutes. That's going to start next week. And the schedule is, okay, I need to have specific, sometime between 8 and 9 a.m. Great. So that's in there. That kind of makes sense, whatever, a nice hearty breakfast. And again, what it's going to do for me when I put this in, it'll take a second. Oh, there we go, hearty breakfast. There it goes every single time. It's going to go in there. And so it allows me to get these regular things. I think what's a lot more interesting are things like these check emails. Again, this was a recurring task, but what I said is, in a given day, it takes me about 2 hours. I can actually edit the recurring tasks. Let's do that. 2 hours, I can have them in a minimum of 1 hour chunks, and it can be any time during the day. Right? And again, that's why you see it here. Sometimes they get it all 2 hours done at once, but then sometimes they need to chunk it out, and then you put emails here and emails there. So it really allows me to do these things that I regularly do, see how they fit in, and it'll adjust, right? Hey, if I have a meeting over lunch that day, or when I normally check my emails, okay, it's going to push it out and find another free time for me. So really kind of interesting in that sense. Okay, last thing that I'm going to show you, and this is just really the kicker. This is the thing that I get excited about when I think about using it on my team, is the idea of a project. So the project is to say, okay, there's this thing I do in my business that is a series of tasks, but they happen on repeat, right? So a simple one is like filming this YouTube video. Okay, I need to consistently every time, I need to do research on the platform, I need to film the video, I need to edit it, and I need to upload it, right? And so that's exactly what Motion allows you to do, is create these projects. And I can make it just from scratch if I wanted to, but what's really valuable is to create a template. And they do offer AI capabilities of doing that, so let's give that a try. So I'm going to say make smart stack video where I do research, film the video, edit the video, then upload to YouTube. And so this is something that happens each time. And so now what Motion is doing, it's using its AI capabilities, turning that description into this. So I'm just going to pause it for a second and see what's going on here. Okay, so I've simplified things a bit. I think it's better this way. I just kind of broke it down into production and post-production. And basically the point, as you can see here, is that I've laid out all the things in each of these columns being different, what they call stages, and then in each stage what happens. So for production, I need to research the software product. But the cool thing is that for each of these, I can define the same things that I could for a task, right? I could say, okay, once the start and the end date, right? So the point being, on the stage, on the project, I can define a master start and end date, and then I can make brackets within this. So I can say, hey, it's the start date plus 0, so it starts at the same time and it ends at the same time. And generally, that's what it does by default, and that's fine. You can do priority. You can say how long it's going to take. And this is a cool thing, too. You can define these roles, and I can add new ones if I want. And the point being is that when I create a new project, I can say who goes into each role for this project. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Okay, got it. And then we're going to create a project with this template. So basically, I'm just saying, okay, that template is created, and now this is going to be my project, which is called Motion. Perfect. Let's start today. It says, okay, I need 5 business days to do the production, and I need 2 business days to do my post-production. Again, that's all based on the things, so that's great. Who's going to be all these different roles? Well, unfortunately, it's only me right now, so I'm doing everything. There's no custom fields, whatever. And then this here, set your text, these other places. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this was something that was set earlier in the template that says, okay, for the video topic, it's Motion, and the client name is Tom. And so now when actually we were creating those tasks, I didn't see it specifically, but I'm sure it's there, it'll dynamically put in those things. And so, yeah, here it is. Here's the project. You can see when I open this up, it's ahead of schedule. Great. I can see the different tasks associated in it. I can click in. I can see this specific task. It's been auto-scheduled, no chunks, when the deadline is, all those things automatically created based on both the template and then what I'm saying for this specific video. So it's assigned to me. It's part of this stage. It's all right there. And then, of course, when I then zoom back out and I look at my board here, you can see that it's getting into all these tasks that I defined, like there it is, research the product. And then what's another good one here? Well, yeah, upload to YouTube. There it is. But it's saying, hey, you can't do that yet because you have to do the earlier ones first, right? So it's really creating this project plan for me. So I'll stop there. There's a lot to this. We didn't even get into the AI meeting notes, which I'm really excited about, but it's a really exciting tool. Again, it allows you to put in your meetings, define events that can go around those meetings, make those tasks recur if you need to, or put them into a bigger project that you can put on repeat if you're always doing the same type of project. So I hope this was useful. If you do have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and we'll see you next time.